So yeah, we're going to talk about our creation story, okay? Because that's why we do what we do, the way we do it. But then we're going to talk a lot about mindset, legal stuff, communication under stress. These are all the skills that are not physical. Then we're going to spend the vast majority of the day learning the physical skills. So this is like a sprint. We're just going to pack as much into you as we can. This is not an exercise class. It's going to be more like play, all right? It's not supposed to be a workout. We're not punching bags. You don't need any experience. You don't need to be fit. It's not cardio. This is actually designed to be very customizable. So if you're in a wheelchair, you can still customize it for that. Broken arm, you can still work it like that. Think of martial arts as a game. There are rules for very good reasons. So imagine kids playing in the street and a car is coming along and the car's going to stop because there's rules. They don't want to hit the kids. So that's martial arts. Self-defense is like no rules. So same kids, same street, but this time the car's going to keep on going. But because there is instruction, the kids are smart enough to, at the last minute, jump out of the way. Now they're on the edge of the road. Are they safe? Arguably, yes. Are they one step away from being back in danger? Arguably, yes. And unfortunately, that is where the vast majority of what's out there, what's being taught, leaves us just on the side of the road. We're one step away from being back in danger. What if we could go play in the backyard? The danger's still there. It's the same road, same cars, but now we've got flexibility, we've got freedom, we've got options. So what we're missing is this sense of balance. Like why do we care about being safe? What is it about our life that we want to protect? Why don't we have tools to get there? So let's rewind the clock to 2007. My daughter, she's 11, and she's finding out the hard way that social media can be weaponized. Now at the time, I had been in martial arts for 21 years. I had studied 11 different styles. I did not have a move for cyberbullying. Okay, no worries. I went to the school. They had a lot of good policies. Couldn't stop it, but they had a lot of good policies. Went to the police. They couldn't do anything until it got more serious. Okay. No worries. I could ask my friends, family, coworkers, professionals. No one could really help. No one could stop it. And I'm the one sending her to school to be punished for being who she is. I made a promise, a vow. I'm going to give her the skills to never be a victim, ever again, in any way, shape, or form, at any age, no matter how the bad guy comes at her. So if it's physical skills, sure. But if it was emotional, cyberbullying, financial, I took the entire concept of being a victim and I just blew it up. Like I had to play catch up once to deal with the cyberbullying. I wasn't gonna get caught a second time. I went out looking for what could solve my problem, right? Like I wasn't the only parent dealing with cyberbullying. Couldn't find it. So I built it. The physical stuff actually was pretty easy. If it worked, I kept it. If it didn't get her into trouble, say legally, when she used it, I kept it. If it was complicated, I tossed it. But she's 11. Everybody is going to be bigger, stronger, meaner, more devious. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants here. People like, this is Dr. Gordon Berger. Same era, Bill Underwood taught at a place called Camp X. They modernized his skills. Their skill set was they would teach JTF2, CSOR, top level military organizations, FBI, and I was very privileged to train and instruct alongside them. But my heart, like they were all military and I was all like Courtney. Courtney didn't want to be a fighter. She just wanted to go to school, live her life. And so my focus was always how simple can we make it? How can we make it make sense for somebody who's a non-fighter? My son, who's also a training partner, also instructs this. He showed one girl one move once. It wasn't even very formal. Just 17 weeks later, she's on a date. Guy gets too pushy. She uses the move. She gets away. She gets safe. She calls him up, and she's happy. There's a mindset that goes with this. So you defend yourself like it's no big deal. Okay, there's a mental resilience there. There's another guy comes to mind. He used to be a region police officer. He's a black belt in Krav Maga. He was a combatives instructor. Big guy. Right? Fit. Doing his duties as a police officer, he's canvassing a neighborhood, and there's this one house, as he told the story, he comes up to this one house, knocks on the doors, no nobody there, but he hears something in the backyard, so he goes around the backyard. There's a back door there, knocks on the door. Now, not the reason why he was there, but the guy that was inside the house had some outstanding warrants. He had been to jail, had some more outstanding warrants. They were looking for him. He didn't know that. He just knocked on the door. The guy inside sees the police officer, panics, comes charging through the door. Buddy rushes him, takes him to the ground, and just starts beating him. And my buddy, as he's saying, look, Andrew, all my skills, like, I couldn't make them work. The guy was just swarming me, and I outweighed him by like 100 pounds. And I was starting to fear for my life. Partner came around, the guy controlled the situation. What he didn't have was access to that level of commitment. This guy, in his mind, he didn't want to go to jail. He'd been to jail, he didn't like it. He was willing to beat a cop to death so that he wouldn't have to go back. That level of commitment. Now, by his own words, if we had asked him the day before, hey, do you want some training? He would have said, no, I'm good. It was afterwards, when he recovered, then he came to train with us. Okay. So, we're different. Soft skills were a lot harder to put together. I want you to imagine being able to train with top-level, world-class martial artists. So these are the guys, they will teach you all about situational awareness, de-escalation. These are the same guys that every Friday they're going out to a bar and getting in a fight and bragging about it. Imagine learning negotiation from a high-level FBI negotiator. Like if you want to get a raise, this is what you want to take into the boardroom. Okay, this is good stuff. But by the end of it, the dirty little secret comes out, is that this stuff doesn't always work. Like, it just works more often in more situations, which is fine because you don't win every contract, you don't get everything you want, and even in a hostage negotiation situation, it doesn't always work on day one or day two, and sometimes it just doesn't work. I'm thinking about my daughter, Courtney, on the street, and I'm thinking, no, she's on the street, she's got one chance. She doesn't have tomorrow. So what I found was state of the art was just my starting point. Yeah, so soft skills. I had to go it on my own. A lot of rabbit holes, A lot of dead ends, a lot of uncomfortable times when things didn't work. What I found was that so much information, like it only worked some of the times and it conflicted with other information. I wanted Courtney, again, my mind's always going back to Courtney, I wanted her to have like this recipe, do this, get that. Like being able to predict the future. And so I developed these universal rules. They were do this, don't do that. They're pretty straightforward. I had made a commitment that I was going to give her the information she needed, whether she liked it or not. Okay, this had to work. It didn't have to be nice. First is hold nothing sacred. Question everything. If it's in your life, it's not in your life because that's how you were raised, or because someone said so. Okay, if it does not help your life, it goes. Nobody wants the truth. That includes all of us here. And be okay with that. Everybody lies. And the first lie we tell is to ourselves. And be okay with that too. So we don't need to go chasing for that truth or demanding it. Let them have their lies. Life is not fair. Now, it's never meant to be. It works better when it's not. So expect to have to work harder. Expect to be betrayed. And love anyway. It's not the decision you make that gets you into trouble, it's the decision before that. So this thing that you want to do, think 2-3 decisions down the road and how could it go terribly wrong. The more certain someone is, like, I know this is a fact, the more certain they are, the more you can pretty much guarantee they're wrong. Question everything. Now the golden rule is also wrong. Do not treat others the way that you want to be treated. Treat others the way they need to be treated, so that they learn how you want to be treated. And be willing to stop everything. The way I normally say it is, everything stops. So if there's a problem, see, life likes to keep on going. We've got all this open baggage from before. You've got an issue, stop right now. Fix it. Eating dinner, put the forks down. Driving, pull over and park. Be willing to stop everything. Turns out that everything that we developed also ended up working for adults. I help a friend, help another friend. There was one lady, I helped her escape from her husband, had to hide her for a few days, and help her through that time in a positive way. And trauma is not invited on this ride. And another thing I found when helping adults is We've all had our nightmares, maybe a few nightmares. Maybe it's gone on for years. And what do they say about trauma? It's a lifelong experience. I'm looking at my daughter, and the father in me now is like saying, no. We need a solution for that. This is where we're at now. When someone attacks you, get away, get safe, never be too afraid to act, and do it in a legal way. The most legal way possible. Talk your way out of any situation. Better yet, see danger coming. Act smart so that you don't even have to talk. Deal with the aftermath of an assault in a positive way. Now, easy street, this is like now going and playing in the backyard. The danger's still there, but your skills, your habits keep danger far away. The one thing that we found, and I think this is one of the reasons why whenever we say try to do something along the lines of self-improvement or making our lives better, one of the reasons why it doesn't really connect or doesn't work as well as we want is because what's missing is too much of the information is it's isolated pockets. And what we did here is we're stitching them together. A couple of examples. You could be a really good talker to talk your way out of any situation. On the street, in real time, that is not as effective as being an okay talker, but having the physical skills to go along with it. We call it the stress options paradox. It's easy to get to easy street. It is next to impossible to stay there without the other skill sets. I didn't like any of this. I didn't want any of this. Like, I love my jiu-jitsu, my punching and kicking. Right? I was just willing to go here. I was going to do whatever it took to find the answers, to put them together for Courtney. We are going to spend most of our time on the physical stuff later on today. For the next little bit though, I want to try to cram skills from the other areas into the time we have. You're still going to get all that though, even though today's like just throw stuff at you. We're going to give you a coupon. You go on the website, you sign up for the training. The coupon gives you a zero cost. Okay? We want this to be like share with your kids. Like use this. Make it. We want this to be like a lifetime connection. The way that Emily says it is. We want so many people to know this, that the bad guy is afraid to be the bad guy. In the moment, when danger is right there, always put yourself first. Look out for number one. Too many of us, we're martyrs. No good. You can protect yourself, you can protect the people that you love better if you keep your own safety in mind. And that even includes work. You're safe and then you do your task. When the mood changes, start looking for ways to disengage. One of the ways that you can do that is to say it out loud. Own it, say it out loud. For example, I can tell, say it to the other person, I can tell that I'm starting to feel tight inside. I need a moment, I'll be right back. So you don't say I feel afraid or feel anger. It's the sensation that you want to label and say it. Okay. I can tell I'm starting to feel shaky inside. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. You don't have to come back.